name is Julia, and I'm majoring in occupational therapy. And my topic today is freedom of religion. And this for short. For long is what can France learn from Taiwan, and what can Taiwan learn from Niger in the topic of freedom of religion. And the first part would be what can France learn from Taiwan. Taiwan's constitution provides free exercise and equal treatment of all religions under the law. Religion shall not be restricted by law, except necessary for reasons as protecting the freedom of others, imminent danger, social order, or public welfare. And the Constitution of France states that the country shall ensure the equality of all citizens before the law, regardless of their religion, and respect all beliefs. The law provides the separation of religion and state and guarantees the free exercise of religious worship, except in the interest of maintaining public order. But in France, about 8% of their people are Muslim, and in most of the Muslim culture, it is required for adult females to cover their intimate parts, which means that they have to cover every part of their body, like their hand, except for their hands and face. So Muslim females mostly would wear this kind of clothing called burqa. But in 2010, the Senate of France passed the act of prohibiting concealment of face on a public space. In 2011, it became illegal to wear face covering, veil, or other masks in public space such as the street, shop, museums, transportation, parks, etc. The word burkini combines the word burqa and bikini, and it is a kind of full-body swimming suit worn by some Muslim women. But France's ban on clothes demonstrating an obvious religious affiliation worn by swimmers on public beaches. I believe many of you have heard of the Charlie Hebdo shooting that happened in 2015 in Paris. There were bombings by Islamic groups in France throughout the 1990s. The part of the law that talked about public order matters. They don't want shootings or bombing to happen, so they limit the mask and face covering. In Taiwan, we have many different cultures. Many Taiwanese cultural traditions have their own gods. For example, Guan Yin, Mazu, and Tudigo. We also have religions that are brought in by the West, like the Catholicism and Christian churches. And most of the Taiwanese, we will respect each and everyone. We won't discriminate on other people because of their religion. It's like, oh, you're a Christian, get away from me. What I think is because actually Taiwanese don't consider religion as a very important part of their relationship. So you won't expect to see that discrimination based on religion here. We can see that how the two cultures within French society are conflict, and the laws begin to reflect that. Banning religious clothing is not just about safety, it is going against the religion. So the thing that I think that France could learn from Taiwan is how to respect religious freedom with no exception. So the second part would be what can Taiwan learn from Niger? Niger's constitution prohibits religious discrimination and provides freedom of religion and worship consistent with public order, social peace, and national unity. It regulates the separation between states and religions and prohibits religiously affiliated political parties. This is extremely important for a country like Niger, because in Niger, almost everyone is religious. They have half of their population are Islamic, and they have many other smaller religious groups in the country. In Niger, non-governmental organizations, including religious organizations, must register with MOI, the Ministry of Interior. And in Taiwan, it's just voluntary. The registration here in Taiwan requires organizations to have real estate in at least 7 administrative regions, valued at 25 million New Taiwan dollars, or more possess than at least 5 million New Taiwan dollars in cash, which is a very high requirement. So the thing I think that we can learn from Niger is the policy about registration of a religious organization. I think that Taiwan should eliminate the restriction on registration and make it mandatory for all religious organizations. The reason I think registration of the religious organization is important is because not only for now, but in the future, in case that there are religious conflicts or interests from religious groups like the one in France, the government would have better control on their situation. Another one is about the religious holidays. Taiwan has the Labor Standard Act, which protects Taiwanese laborers' vacation 1 day a week. But this law has nothing to do with our foreign workers, which affects their time of worshiping. The report made by the United States Department in 2016 have written, most of the foreign workers at Taiwan are from Indonesia and Philippines, who include the number of Muslims and Catholics who want to, or they believe that they should attend worship on certain day of the week. If the rule of Taiwan can't guarantee them to have a holiday in the week, they can't worship their own god. And for the Buddhist monks from Tibet, they can't obtain a visa for their religious work. They were forced to fly back to Thailand every 2 months to regain a visa. The MOI authorities actually were responsible for accepting complaints from workers who believed that their rights and interests were damaged by their religious reason. But MOI said that they didn't receive any complaints of religious discrimination from workers. Do you believe that? Anyway, I don't. So I think that Taiwan should consider the foreign workers part of our labors or legislate a new law for them. Niger has Muslim and Christian national holidays. They celebrate Christmas, Easter, Muhammad's birthday, and many more others. Maybe we can learn from that or find a way to balance religion and fair labors. Yes, why am I talking about this topic? First, because I have my own religion, I'm a Christian, and Taiwan is a multiracial country. Like we have people from a foreign country that teaches English here, or the foreign workers that work for us. And they all have different beliefs. Even those who are atheists, it is a kind of belief. So when we think to renew something about like politics, economics, and a lot more things that is national, first we'll think about to learn from developed countries like France. But we forget that even the least developed country like Niger has some part that we can learn from. And actually developed countries like France can also learn from that, us. And so that's the end of my representation. Thank you for listening.